Alright, this will be kind of a tool review, I guess. Did the show off video the other day where I just kind of went over that I bought it and I hadn't really used it yet, so I couldn't really say anything about it. But now I've done a little bit of playing with it, read through the instructions, I got a basic understanding of it now, and I see what needs to be done to get it aligned, and it seems fairly straightforward. I mean, there's a little bit of math involved here and there, but it's overall, you know, anyone should be able to figure it out and use it. So we'll start off by saying this is the Tenhulzen Automotive four-wheel alignment tool. There are two of these stands, one front, one in the back there. It comes in a little bitty box, and you start to wonder why it costs so much, which I'll start off by saying that's probably one of my biggest complaints is it seems like it's overpriced for what it is, but it saved me a ton of time in trying to make this stuff out of 2x or my own aluminum tubing or whatever. So time I didn't feel like spending on making it, and ease of use, this definitely has it. So when you unbox it, you get a whole bunch of aluminum angle pieces, some hardware, these little spools. It comes with 4 of these elastic string spools. You only use 2 of them at a time. It comes with 2 spares. It comes with this basic instruction which goes over pretty much what everything is, how to use the digital readout, how to use these little hands-free finger mounts for the camera gauge, etc. There's the digital readout instruction. And then of course it comes with the easy string frame assembly instructions. And then of course it comes with the instructions on how to actually use it, which is your camber in tow and your caster. So they're fairly straightforward, and I wrote down the instructions on this. Well, not the instructions on this, sorry. I wrote down my measurements that I gathered, and then I wrote down what my Rod Custom Mustang 2 alignment is supposed to be for power and manual. There it is if you need it. The only thing I don't know is, I'm not sure if this is positive or negative tow. I think it's positive, but it seems odd that it would tow out. I don't know. So anyways, on to the tool itself. Like I said, when you get it, it's aluminum tubing. It has these thumb screws, which are nice and easy. You just loosen those, and it's slotted, so you just spread it to the width you need. The front and rear have to be the same width. You want to pair them together, is the easiest thing to do. And it tells you the basic alignment is to match this bolt here with the outer edge of the tire. So like there, get a rough alignment there. Mine's fairly close. It doesn't have to be exact, just ballparked. Yeah, when you get it, you'll bolt on these little support stands that has a little rubber sleeving to give it some grip, and then you'll run your little string pieces, and these are notched. Everything on here is laser cut, I believe, and the hardware is all stainless from what I can tell. And it's numbered. These are inch numbers, and these slots are 1/2 inches. So you'll set that based off of the other tool that you'll mount, which is this. Now, by the way, this tool, what I paid is $500. Comes with one of these. All right, so you have these little rulers on here. They fold out. You'll mount it on the tire, like so. I don't have the hands-free fingers on there because I found that with my rim and tire setup, it was easier to use just these little nubs because it clips onto my tire that overhangs. So anyways, it does like that. And you'd fold these out, and that's how you get your toe measurement. For aligning your rack or steering. And then this little mount here is for the little digital gauge readout. That'll give you your camber and caster measurements. And you don't need caster plates with this. The way it works is you mount this. It has an angle on it. Turn your wheel so this angle is parallel with the string or with any kind of flat. You can lay a 2x or a ruler or whatever. but you want that the tire turn to where it's parallel with it. Then you'll flip it the other way, or actually you'll take a readout with the gauge with it vertical, zero it, take it off, you'll flip it the other way, and then turn the wheel the opposite way where it's parallel, put it back on, take another readout. Or you put it on, zero it, then you take a readout once you turn it. That's how you measure it out. But anyways, it's fairly straightforward. On the instruction it tells you how to do everything, obviously. But like I said, I'm happy with the quality of it. It's made decent. The only thing other than the price I would say is it'd be nice if it was designed a little better where, you know, these legs and this arm could fold up, because obviously you can loosen those and collapse it down. But if these could fold over and in, you wouldn't have to unbolt anything to store it real tight package. Without it, you have to take these screws loose, you have to tape it, or, you know, wrap it somehow to keep it together and store it, transport it, whatever, because it's not the smallest package otherwise. But overall, if you want to be able to do an alignment at home, it's not bad. They have different price for kits. You don't have to get the string set up. You can get just that gauge. You can get just the 2-wheel alignment. I went with the full 4-wheel, and it was $500. The full biggest kit you can get with 2 of these gauges with the digital is $700. So this arm and digital is $200 by itself. But I came across this on one of the Facebook pages for Mustang Resto Mods. Someone bought one of these after having the same problem with alignment shop and swore by it and said it was amazing, and said he figured it out his alignment in, you know, a couple of hours, whatever. So from using it, I can tell you that the alignment shop didn't get mine anywhere near the specs that it is supposed to be. They're not even matching per side. Like the camber's off on both sides, the caster's off on both sides. The toe is definitely off. It pulls to the side. Like, I don't know what they did. So I'll be dealing with that later. So would I recommend this tool? If you're having problems with the aligning vehicle like I did, or you don't want shops touching your stuff, like I don't really like other shops touching my car that I built, yes, I recommend it. There's probably cheaper options that you could make work. You could build this string setup for yourself and save your money there. But ease of use and, you know, instant, get it to your house in under a week and have it done. It's not bad. It's not worth it. I mean, it's worth it. Sorry. It's definitely not a bad idea. I'll get my money's worth out of this by using it on this car, checking alignment on my other cars, etc. So I like it. Tips for anyone else that's running a Rod Custom front suspension. I can tell you, I think I figured out a decent way to do it. I'm kind of upset with the way, I don't remember his name, but the owner and main guy that answers the phone anytime you call Rod Custom. I'm not really happy with the way he handled me asking him questions about alignment, and I kind of was asking for tips because, like I said, the shops wanted to charge me a fortune because they said it was some pain in the butt to align it. He said the shops were just screwing me around, and I told him that I was going to be doing it myself, and if he had any advice or tips on how to do it, because the way this is set up with the slots and just 2 bolts, you just loosen that bolt and slide it. There's no set adjustment. Like, you can't turn it so many turns to get so many degrees. You can't add washers or shims. It's literally just slide it, check it repeatedly. I don't know any way other than you would do to get it right. And the downer is you have to deal with the weight on the car. So not only do you have to slide and check it, you have to get to those bolts and be able to adjust them. You can't do it with the weight on the car, because as soon as you loosen those bolts, the weight of the car is going to make them smash inward like it did whenever I hit the brakes. They're going to want to move. The weight's going to want to push that control arm. So you have to take the weight off the car, pull the tire more than likely to take the weight off of the spindle, move the spindle a little bit, put it all back down, put it down on the ground, check it again. Repeat that process over and over until you get those specs on that notepad that I have. But another option, if you have this tool or if you have another magnetic readout, I took my measurement on the ground, I wrote it down. I also took the gauge and put it on the rotor and wrote that down. So that's my readout on my tire, and it was within, you know, a decent amount. Oh, never mind, that's not it. Down here, sorry. I took it off the tire and wrote it. Another thing I'm gonna do is take a readout with the gauge right off the rotor, and I'm thinking what I can do is take this, lift the car, pull the wheel, and take a readout with the weight off, and then whatever adjustment I needed to make of it on the ground, say it's, you know, 3 degrees off, I'll take a measurement on the rotor and go 3 degrees whichever direction I need to go with it on the rotor, and see how close that gets me. It's not going to be exact, but it's going to be ballpark, since I have to pull everything to get to make the adjustment. That'll get me real close. So I should be able to do that, and then put the tire back on, drop it, and check it, and see how far I'm off at that point. But then not only that, if you remember math and equations and whatnot and fractions, I think you can cross multiply between, you know, weight on car, weight off car, adjustment value of the two, and then cross to get the difference of how much it is percentage wise of tire to rotor, if you follow me. But anyways, hopefully I didn't give you a headache trying to think that, or lose you with that. But I'll come back after I get the alignment done. Right now I'm working on the E-Pass stuff. I got that stuff in. I started working on it. I got it kind of torn apart with my column here and everything. E-Pass motor in the shaft, which already pulled out of the column. I've got to chop this end off here, and I've got to cut this, I think, in half, this shaft piece. Then I'll have to drill and tap into this shaft to join this piece to here. But I got to figure out how to get this apart still. I don't know if I just need to keep smacking this to pull it, or if I need to pull some bolts out. But I'm gonna make a video whenever I'm done with this, hopefully, on how to wire up this Versa E-Pass, which, yeah, there it is. It's a 2011 Nissan Versa is what this stuff came out of. This was like 200 bucks off eBay, by the way, which is a nice little alternative to the $1,500 E-Pass Performance setup. But anyways, whenever I get done with all this, I'll make a video on how I did it. This is a GM style I did it tilt column. I don't know if the same applies for the Mustang columns, because I don't know if this tube diameter is the same, so I might have to make some alterations versus the normal one. I know a normal Mustang column, you use this 2-inch to 1.5 inch exhaust reducer to sleeve it. I might have to do something different, because I think this GM column's a little bit more narrow than the factory Ford one, but we'll see. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and hopefully you got some decent information about this alignment setup here. And if you're interested in getting it, hopefully I, gave you something to go off of. And if you're a Rod and Custom front end guy, hopefully if you had the same issues with shops doing your alignment, what info I gave will help you. All right, guys, later.